Hi, welcome to Overthinking Entrepreneur. I'm Megan, and I've had a successful online business for a few years now, and I think I overthought probably about 90% of my decisions along the way. Honestly, I just overthought whether I should say 90% or pretty much every decision in this intro. So if you find that relatable, you are definitely in the right place. In this podcast, I will help you get out of overthinking and into action so that your online business can finally start growing. Hi. So I'm excited to talk to you this week about what goes where. When you are growing your business and you start to have more than one platform and more than one place that you show up, this might be your Facebook, your Instagram, your email list, TikTok. Even within these platforms, there's often more and more places that you can show up. On Facebook, you can have your profile, you can have a business page, you can have a group, you can have stories. There's so many different platforms and places that you could be creating content and could be showing up. And it can get so overwhelming trying to figure out what goes where. What should I be putting in all of these different places? And I actually just had this come up. I have started doing the voice message days from people who completed the business reset week. They all earned a voice message day with me, and I had one yesterday. And she asked me this question. And I ended up kind of breaking down my answer to it. And then I was like, you know what? I think this should probably go on the podcast because I know so many people have this struggle. And my answer to it might be a little bit different than you're expecting, but I think it's probably what you need to hear. So I don't have any notes. I kind of broke this down. Yeah, I was actually driving when I broke this down for her yesterday, safely, of course. But so I'm going to see if I can replicate it here and just kind of help you wrap your head around what you should be posting where. So the first thing that I think we need to look at is what are the different places that you have and do you need them all? Do you want them all? Or do you have them just because someone told you to or because someone else has them and you thought that's just what you do? You just thought that's how this works. Everyone else seems to have one, so I think that I should too. And I understand that. I totally get how that can happen. But I think you need to take responsibility for your own business and understand that you need to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And because I see other people doing it isn't really a good reason for that. And so that could be a very big part of why you're feeling so confused and why you're feeling so, I don't know what to post where. I'm not sure what should go here because you don't even know why you have these different things. You just have them because other people do, or because someone told you to, or because you thought you were supposed to. So that's the first thing that I would say is back up and really look at where are the different places that you're showing up and trying to create content. And do you need them all? Are they all serving a purpose? Are they all part of your customer journey? Are they all places that you enjoy showing up and that are bringing in a result or that could bring in the result that you want? I think we need to be a little bit careful with that one because there could be plenty of things that are right for your business but aren't currently bringing a result because you're not quite doing the right things just yet. You know what I mean? So you don't want to get too hung up on, well, I haven't made a sale from here, so I guess I should ditch that. I haven't made a sale here, I guess I should ditch that. Like, don't get too caught up in that side of looking at it, but is it bringing results? Are you enjoying it? Is it something that you could realistically see bringing the results? And like, how does it fit into your vision for the business that you want to build? There are so many different ways that you can build an online business, which is awesome. But then when you look around and you see what other people are doing and you're trying to figure out which way you want to go, it can feel really overwhelming. And so you can either join someone's program who has a like, this is the system and I plug you into my system and everyone runs on my system, or you figure out for yourself what's going to work for you. And there's not really a right or wrong. I mean, I do think there can be some drawbacks. I think in the beginning, it can be really good to be plugged into someone else's system because you don't even really have enough data to make some of these decisions and you just don't have enough experience and you just don't really even know what you're doing if you're brand new to all of this. And so in that case, I think it can be good when someone else plugs you into their system because then you at least feel like you know what to do instead of feeling super overwhelmed and lost. But what can happen is that their system wasn't built for you. And it's probably not going to work for you in the long term because you're trying to use someone else's system that isn't built for you and your life and your brain, just like I've been talking about and why I did this whole business reset week to help people get clarity on them. And what's been really cool is I'm seeing the cheat sheets that they're submitting. So at the end, the business reset buddy gives you a cheat sheet to help you just kind of remember all this big stuff that you worked through. Because how many times have we gone through something and been like, that was amazing, this is going to change my life. And 2 weeks later, you forgot all about it. It's so easy. I'm so guilty of doing this. So I had it spit out this cheat sheet at the end that they can refer back to. And so they are submitting their cheat sheets to me to show that they have done it so that they earn their voice message day. And they're all so different. It all has similar elements of the plan. One of the things that it helps them do is craft just kind of an empowering mindset statement that they can turn to on those hard days or when they're feeling down or feeling overwhelmed. Those have all been so different. Like it's just been really cool to see. And it's because we are all different people with different goals, different businesses, first of all, right? Even people who maybe sell the same thing, it can still be pretty different. And then our goals for where we want the business to go, what we struggle with, what tends to get in our head and get in our own way. Like the mindset statements were interesting to me to see because it kind of clues me into what are the biggest mindset struggles that each of these different people have. And it's been very different because we're all different and we're all at different stages of the journey. So that's where I think it's important to figure out what's going to work for you and what do you like doing. A really divisive one, for example, Facebook groups. Some people love Facebook groups. I happen to be a lover of Facebook groups. I happen to enjoy the community aspect and the way that you can go in and see what's going on, but it's still kind of chill and I don't feel like I need to keep up with anything. Some people are really not a fan and would not want to run an ongoing Facebook group, and it'll actually make them miserable trying to build community and trying to keep it engaged. Whereas for me, that's one of the more fulfilling parts of my business. If I sat behind my computer alone and never interacted with people, I would like that for probably like 2 weeks. I'd probably be like, this is awesome. No one needs me. No one's like asking me questions. No one like I can just sit here and work when I want to. But over time, I know that that would get to me and it would bother me and I would really miss the lack of interaction. I would miss that human piece of my business. So we're all different. We all have to figure out what do we like doing. Some people love selling on camera, doing videos. Some people never, ever, ever want to do that. Some people love social media. Some people hate it. We're all different. And so I think sitting down and figuring out for yourself what are the different platforms that I want to use within my business and how do I want to use them is really important. And like I said in the beginning, a lot of times you just simply don't have enough information to be able to do that. But there is a certain point in your business where you should take that step back and really look at this stuff and figure out what am I doing here and what does my customer journey look like? And I'm going to keep using that term customer journey probably as we keep going. So what that refers to is basically someone finding you, someone growing to know, like, and trust you enough to be interested, and then becoming your customer. Is this going to happen with everyone you meet? Nope, definitely not. You should not have the expectation that every person you meet with is going to go on this journey and become your customer, but a lot of them will, the ones that are the right fit for you. And so figuring out what is that going to look like for you. And those really are, I mean, it's within the three, there's so many different ways that this can look, but it really comes down to those three essential steps to have your business consistently grow. You need to be meeting new people, growing your audience with new people. This is huge. This is a step a lot of people are skipping. They're doing the other steps. They are, you grow and then you nurture them, which is where you establish that know, like, and trust. It's basically where they have time to get to know you as a person, to start to trust you, to start to see you as someone worth buying from, and basically become comfortable and hit a point where they're ready to purchase from you. And then you need to ask for the sale in whatever way that looks like. That could be in DMs, that could be on a webinar, that could be in an email, that could be in a social media post. There's so many different ways within all of these, but really that's what you need. New people coming in, having them build know, like, and trust with you, and then selling to them. And so thinking about what are the different platforms and what do I want that to look like in my business? And I have had this experience so many times, and I might get a little bit snarky here. I promise it's said with love, but I cannot tell you how many times I have had someone come to me and say, what should I be doing in my profile versus my group? And they want me to tell them. And I'm like, I don't know. Why do you have both? What are your goals here? What are you trying to accomplish in the two? And inevitably they're like, I don't know. I just have it because someone told me to, or I thought that's what you do, or I didn't want to annoy people on my profile, so I started this group so I could annoy them in there instead. Right? I know that's in my head, I always feel like that's the implication at the end, right? Like if your content's going to be annoying, it's going to be annoying no matter where you put it. Like, how about we just don't be annoying? How about we just learn to share about our business in a way that's not going to annoy people? But I also do understand that there's a line. And, if you're talking about it every single day, there might be some people that don't want to see that and blah, blah, blah. I do get that. But also, I don't want to see their politics and their sports posts and their whatever else that they're, it's so anyway. you guys know my thoughts on that. I think we worry way too much about annoying other people, and they are just as annoying. And most of the time, we aren't even being annoying, you know? So, but anyway, when you come to me and you say, I don't know what to do in my group versus my profile, what should I be doing? My answer is I don't know. That you need to figure that out. That's up to you. And not in a sense that like I don't want to help you, but I need you to tell me where in the customer journey both of these things fit in and why you feel that you need both right now. And then I can help you figure out what should be happening in each one to accomplish those goals. But if you're here saying to me, I have this because I think I'm supposed to, I don't know what to do in either one. You tell me what to do. And I'm like, well, I can't tell you what to do. I don't know what you should be doing in there. I didn't even have a group until I was over a year in my business. So I think a lot of people take on way too many platforms too soon, in my opinion. And so that would be the first thing that I would say to really look at is, have you taken on too much? Have you bit off more than you can chew? Do you need all of these different places? And are you clear on what you should be doing in them? And if you're not, maybe we need to set some to the side or you need to get some clarity. And this is on you. This is not on someone else to tell you what to do. And that might sound a little weird coming from me as a coach, right? People come to me for help, and I get that, but you need to decide what you want your customer journey to look like and what's going to be satisfying for you. And I do understand there's that, okay, great, but also I want to do what's going to be effective and I want to know what's going to work. And I'll always tell you if I think your plan just won't work. I think, there are some plans and some things that won't work, but for the most part, all of it works. It's just about doing it consistently, creating that plan that's going to allow the strategy to work, that's going to allow this platform to have enough time to work and for you to be doing the right things. And then for you to follow through on it consistently and show up and actually do the things that it's going to take to make it happen. So it all can work. But if you're trying to post in 10 different places and you still feel terrible at posting and you just don't know what you're doing, none of it's going to get you anywhere. So I always tell people, start with one thing. Unless you have some experience, unless you were already, especially if social media is one of them, if you were using social media just casually as a personal user before, and now you're trying to use it for business, it's a big change and it's a lot. And showing up consistently and all this content and all these things that you have to be doing can feel overwhelming. And then if you decide, let's just say you're going to start with Facebook and you say, okay, I'm going to use my profile. And then I feel like I need a group. And then, oh, I don't know, someone said I should have a business page. So I guess I should have that. And then I don't know, I'm seeing these reels and stories and now I'm so overwhelmed. And like, yeah, of course you're overwhelmed. You have no clear strategy behind why you're using these things. You're just doing it because you see other people doing it. And so take that step back and educate yourself. Look into what are the different platforms best for? Like, what are the different ways that I want to grow my business? And take some ownership in how you want to grow your business. Don't just expect other people to tell you what to do. I think that's really hard. We go through school being told what to do, and then we get a job and we're told what to do. And as an entrepreneur, no one is going to tell you what to do. Even if you hire a coach, they can help guide you and they can make suggestions. But at the end of the day, it has to come from you. And the sooner that you can shift your mindset into, I need to figure this out. I need to figure out how I can do this instead of just, I see so many people that throw up their hands and say, I don't know, this isn't working. And I'm just waiting for someone to tell me what to do. No one's coming to tell you what to do. No one's going to just show up at your house and say, okay, I'm your business fairy. Let me tell you what to do. And it's all going to be just perfect now. Like, you have to figure this stuff out for yourself. And it's great because you have so much flexibility to build a business that's really going to work for you and that you'll love, but it also can feel overwhelming. And I do understand that, but you can't just come to someone else and say, tell me what I should be putting in my group. I don't know. Who's the group for? What are you hoping to accomplish? What stage of the customer journey are they at when they join this group? If you can't answer those questions, then I can't tell you what to post in there. You need to know the purpose of this platform, and then we work backwards from there, and the content supports your goal, supports your purpose for having this platform. So what you want to do is figure out, what am I going to do to meet new people? Where's going to be my growth, right? Where am I going to meet brand new people? And you have a lot of flexibility, but there are certain platforms that just by nature of what they are not going to work for all of these different stages. So examples of this: an email list. If you send out an email to your list, it goes only to the people on your list. It's not going randomly to new people that haven't ever heard of you. Email is not a growth platform in and of itself. Now, there are things you can do, like a lead magnet that leads to your email list that you are actively promoting can cause growth, but just having a list and sending emails out to your current list, that is not growth. That is nurture and that is sales, depending on what you're sending there. It could be both or one or the other, but it's just not going to be growth. Posting in a private Facebook group where no one can see it is probably not going to be a good growth platform. Now, Facebook groups can be a little bit tricky because depending on how you have your group set up, they can be a place that grows. Like my Facebook group gets requests on its own every week, and I am not out there actively making that happen. But it took me a long time to get to that place. And so I had to really build up the group, show Facebook that it's a good quality group, get it into momentum, have members that like being there. And so a lot of times it's referrals. It's like people sharing about the group with their friends or someone who's asking for help. And that's where the new members come in. Sometimes it's Facebook suggesting it. It hits a point. It can hit a point in a Facebook group if your group is focused on nurture and if your group is focused on growth. If your group is very focused on sales, this isn't as likely to happen. It depends what you sell. It can happen, but do you want to join a group where a stranger tries to sell you their products? Probably not, right? That's not a group that you're going to be like, "Ooh, I got to get in there. So this person I don't even know will sell me stuff. I don't have enough of that on my feed already," right? So I think that if your group is more community and value based, and it's more of a nurture and audience growth platform, then a group can work for that. But if it's a private group and you're not having new members come in and you're not actively growing it, and it's more of a sales group where you talk about the things that you sell, that is probably not going to be a growth platform either. Stories, same thing. They're not really shown to new people. They're not put out in new feeds. People have to actually already be on your account to see your stories. So, things like that are not going to be considered a good growth platform. So you have to be realistic about what is public. What can I do that's realistically going to help new people find me and connect with me? So this could be something like your Facebook profile or your page, but you also still really need to be intentional. Facebook is not great about showing your stuff to new people. Instagram is a little better. TikTok is even better. So these, there's other platforms that you can be using for your growth. And then there's also the good old fashioned hard work. Roll up your sleeves and go out and meet new people. Other people's Facebook groups can be a great place to meet new people. Like there's lots of ways that you can go about doing this. But I think you want to have something public where when people first hear about you or someone refers you or whatever, if they hear about you in some way, you want to have something public that they can come and kind of check you out and see what you're all about. So if all of your stuff is like in your private group or it's on your email list and there's not a whole lot that people can see publicly, you might lose them. They might say, "Oh, I'll find someone else. I don't know. I can't really see much about this person to see if I like them or see if they're going to be for me." So I would recommend a website, a public social media account, ideally. If I can look at someone's website, I will, but I would much rather scroll through your Instagram or your Facebook and see the kind of stuff you're posting and get a sense for who you are. So you want to make sure that you do have that place for people to land when they're finding you. And so when you're on this public place that's designed for growth and attracting in new people, then you want to work backwards and think, okay, what type of content is going to best apply to the new people that are just finding me? So this is going to be things like telling your own story, sharing your own journey, sharing your results, sharing things about you, a human being, so that people can connect with you and say, oh, this looks like a cool person who's going to be for me. So these can be fun branding content, telling your story, talking about how you help people, that kind of stuff. So not like hardcore sales necessarily, but you can be talking about your business and what you do, because that's going to help them determine if you might be for them and they're interested in what you're doing, especially if they're out there looking for you. Once they've found you, then we have to nurture them. So this is where we're building that know, like, and trust factor. This is where people go from, oh, here's this internet stranger who sells something. I don't know. I'm not sure about them, to, oh, I think this is my person. And I think that, when the timing is right, I am going to buy from them. That's what we're talking about here during this stage. So this is where people are really seeing you over time and just being allowed to connect with you and get to know you and build that trust and see that you're consistent, see that you're serious. So this is where you're going to be showing up consistently. These can be things like, this is where your email list could be great, right? Maybe you send out a weekly email with some tips, and every week they look forward to reading the tips and getting to know you a little bit better. This could be you sharing more about your life and who you are as a person, so they can find those things in common and feel like they have that connection and that trust with you. This is you sharing results from your current customers, people that have already worked with you, and they're seeing those results and building that trust and getting to know you even more. This is you talking about the things that you sell in a way that helps them become educated and understand that, oh, maybe this is the solution to my problem. Maybe this is actually what I'm looking for. I've been trying all this other stuff. Maybe this is what I need. All of that kind of stuff is going to fall under the nurture category. So you can do this in a ton of different ways. And you can also do this stuff all within one platform. When I first started my business, I had my Facebook profile and that was it. And I did growth, I did nurture, and I did sales all on that one platform. You do not need separate platforms for all of these, or you can have platforms that do more than one thing in the journey. It doesn't have to be like, okay, this is growth, this is nurture, this is like, it doesn't have to be that. I just want you to understand the different stages of the customer journey so you make sure you're hitting them all. Because if you're not having anywhere where you're focused on growth and letting those new people come in and connect with you, the rest of the journey doesn't matter because you don't have people going on it. They're just not going on it. They're not finding you to go on that journey. Um, but the nurture, so this can be, stories can be really great for nurture. Email can be really great. Some of these things that aren't necessarily the best for bringing in new people are fantastic for nurturing and having them feel like you're a real person and they know you and they like you and they trust you. So the type of content you're going to do here, well, I guess I just went through it already, didn't I? So those things like personal branding, education, results, testimonies, that kind of stuff is what's really going to help people start to feel more of that connection with you. I would also encourage you to do engagement-based content here, things that are going to encourage these new people to comment and interact with you. The more that you can have those interactions and conversations with them, the better. You do not need to be in their DMs asking them, what do you do for fun? Where do you live? Like small talk stuff. You can, if you like doing that, feel free. I hate it. I don't do any of that. You don't need to be nurturing by having these painful conversations. You can nurture through your content and through the things that you're putting out there. This podcast is a really great example of nurture, right? Now, new people can find my podcast, but you have to be really intentional. It's not the best growth platform per se, unless you're out there facilitating that growth. But once people start listening, and they hear you, it can be a very intimate form of that nurture. I feel like when I hear someone speak, when someone does podcasts or videos, I feel like I shoot to that know, like, and trust so much faster than someone who doesn't. So video content or audio content is another thing I highly suggest for the nurture stage, but is not required, of course. And then you have to sell to them. So then you need to figure out where you're actually going to ask for the sale. And you can do this in the DMs if that's what you like doing. You can do this through your content, through emails. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, but you do need to make sure that you're not just talking about your business, kind of talking around your business, or, I have a business and people know that, but like you need to make sure that you're actually saying, here's what I have, here's why you should get it, here's how you can do that. Here's your next steps, right? We need to be doing that actual active selling where we're telling people about the thing, we're giving them a reason to buy it right now, and we're telling them how to go and do that. The reason to buy it right now can be a sale or some sort of discount, but it can also be you are sick of being stuck in this place and it's time to change, or it could be related to the time of year, or it could just be I only run this program a couple times a year and I'm about to run it right now, so get in if you're sick of being stuck where you are, that kind of stuff. So it could be like a time sensitive thing, like this is happening now, you need to come in and join. But if it's something that's available all the time, that's okay. You just want to make sure you're talking about it and giving them reasons why they shouldn't wait, giving them reasons why they should buy now, and then giving them those steps. So whether that's throwing a link in the comments of your post so they can go and place an order, whether that's telling them to reach out to you so you can have a conversation and figure out which option is going to be best for them, whatever that looks like for you is fine, but you need to be directly selling. This does not mean you have to be in someone's inbox saying, hey, do you want to buy my thing? It can look like that if that's what you want it to be, but you do need to make sure that people that are following you know what you sell, know how to buy it, know why they should be getting it right now. All of these things need to be actively communicated if you want sales to be actively coming in. So in the place where you sell, I think most people have a pretty good handle of what sales content is, but this is where you're going to be directly talking about a product or service that you have and making the ask. Explaining, this could be storytelling where you're talking about your own experience or a client's experience. This could be education. This can be, I just got the best message from a customer. Here's this. If you want to try it too, here's how you can. all these kind of things, sales content where we're actually asking for the sale. I see a lot of people who kind of aren't doing this part. They're talking about their business, sure, they're posting photos of their products, they're talking about the service they have, but they're not inviting people to come try it. And it might seem like a silly thing where you're like, okay, but obviously, like if I'm talking about it, people know I sell it, so they'll know how to get it. Yeah, they might, but you need to be creating that momentum and creating that excitement within them and creating that movement and that action, telling them to go take the action right now and why. Especially at the time I'm recording this, 2025 is kind of a tough year for business, and a lot of people are being more hesitant to spend their money. It doesn't mean that they're not, they're still buying things, but they're being more particular about what they buy and really thinking through, is this worth my money? And so if you're over here kind of dancing around your business, kind of half talking about it, but you're afraid that they're not going to buy it, or you're afraid they're going to think it's too expensive, or you're afraid of whatever that may be, and you're not just boldly saying, this is what I have, this is how I can help you, who's ready, then you're probably not creating a lot of movement. You're probably not having a lot of people that are ready right now. You're probably not seeing a lot of people buy. And so making sure that you're doing this crucial step in the process and giving them the chance to buy. And yes, they can buy anytime. Obviously, we know that. But how often do you just go to someone's website, browse around and make a purchase? Probably not very often, right? The things you're buying are the things you're seeing them talk about. So we need to make sure that we're doing that important step of the process. So we want to make sure that we have a place where new people find us, our growth platform. We want to have our nurture platform where people can grow to know, like, and trust us. And we want to have our sales platform where we're actually asking for the sale. So what I want you to do is sit down and think about, what are those for me? What do I want them to be? And again, you can have just one platform that does all of these. You can have a separate one for each. You can have some that kind of double dip. Like, for example, I feel like on my Facebook profile, I do all three of these. And then I also have a group that I use for nurture and growth. And then I have email that I use for nurture and sales. I have this podcast that I use for nurture. And I do some selling on here, but that's not my main goal of the podcast. So all these different things that all kind of work together. So what you want to do is sit down and think about, imagine a brand new person. You can give them a name if you want to. For some reason, the name that popped in my head was Bobby, and I don't know why, but we're going to say Bobby. So if Bobby first of all, can Bobby find you? Is it realistic for Bobby to find that you exist? Are you putting yourself out there in public ways where new people could discover you? Could Bobby even find you? If so, once Bobby finds you, what happens? Does Bobby know what to do? Is there a place where Bobby can connect with you? If Bobby's not ready to buy yet, but wants to kind of feel you out and see what you're all about, is there a good place for that to happen? And for Bobby to kind of follow along on your journey and watch until it's the right time. And then now we've got Bobby following you, right? Waiting. And are you regularly making the ask? Are you regularly putting it out there so that when the time is right and Bobby is ready, they're going to see you saying, here's what I have, who wants it? Is that going to happen at the right time? Because a lot of times that's what it is, right? I just about joined, and I still think there's a really good chance that I'm going to join, but I just signed up for someone's freebie. And then her tripwire that popped up was like, hey, do you want a discount to join my membership? Here's the thing. And when I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this is exactly what I've been looking for. It was like, blah, 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 blah. Like everything included in this membership is what I've been looking for. And it includes weekly calls for that live component. I need that live component. I've been in a program for almost a year now that covers a lot of the same topics, but it's more, I thought it had more of a community element when I signed up. It was my mistake. I should have really understood what I was joining. It's not. It's more of a do at your own pace, like all the information is here kind of program. And the information is wonderful, but I'm not utilizing it. I know that I need that live component. But anyway, I'm not that person who just like buys on a whim, but I almost signed up right on a whim because at the right time when this was actively on my mind, the right thing showed up. It appeared. And that's what we want to be doing for Bobby. When Bobby's been following you for a while and starting to know and like and trust you and thinking that maybe they might be open to buying from you someday, and then on the right week you say, here's the thing, it's on sale, or here's the thing, we're starting next week, and Bobby says, okay, my time is right, I'm in, I'm going to sign up, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to do it. We need all of these pieces in order to have the consistent sales happening. So, and what you want to do is lead from your purpose for each platform and let that inform the type of content you're doing there. So instead of asking, what should I be posting here? I don't know what to put here. What should I be putting in my group? What should I be putting in my profile? Instead, I think you're asking the wrong question. We want to start by asking, why do I have this group? What am I hoping that someone will get out of being a member of my group? Why do I have this profile? Where does this fit into my customer journey? And once you can identify where this fits into your customer journey, then you can work backwards and say, okay, what type of content is needed for that stage of the journey? What type of content is going to support them? If that's where they're at in the journey, what do they need to be hearing right now? If someone is in the nurture stage, they need to be hearing about you and what makes you trustworthy and credible. And they need to be hearing about your product or service you offer and why it's the solution they're looking for. This is where you really want to be educating them about why the other things they've tried haven't worked and why yours will. Not in a bashing other stuff kind of way, and not in an overly cocky mine's the most amazing ever kind of way, unless that's your personality, but educating them about what it has been so that they can then understand, or why it hasn't worked there. That's what I was trying to say. Educating them on why what they were trying in the past hasn't worked so that they can now be open to what you have and start to understand what, if they don't get that education, you can make the ask, you can make the sale, but if they haven't shifted their mindset and their perspective and started to believe that your thing is what they need, it doesn't matter. You could offer the best deal under the sun. They're not going to buy it because it's not about the price. It's not about, oh, that thing is normally $200 and today it's $10, which, first of all, sometimes when things are discounted too much, it's almost suspicious. Like, okay, how good can it really be if you're discounting it that much, But it's not about money. It's not, and you're over here going, I discounted it to $10 and they still won't buy. Why? It's because they haven't had that mindset, that perspective shift. They're not sold on this being their right solution. They're not sold on this being what they want. They need to be sold on that first. And then when the time sensitive or the good deal comes up, then they're ready to snap it up. So, okay, I hope that this episode has given you some clarity on why you lack clarity of what you should be posting where. And I also hope that it was not too snarky. My goal with this was not at all to make you feel badly. I really understand how this happens. And I've been in this place myself. And I even still, to be honest, with my Facebook group right now, I'm flailing a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing in there. I need to sit down and have this hard conversation with myself and make a plan for what do I want this group to be? Because I had it really great for a long time and then I kind of fell off, and it's just, I know that it's a place where I'm slacking. I know it's a place I don't want to give up, but I haven't really sat down and made my plan for my purpose. And because I'm feeling unclear on my purpose of the group, I'm feeling really unclear on my content. And so I've been showing up pretty sporadically in there because I'm feeling so unclear about what I want to do in there. And it's the same thing for you. And I know clarity sounds so boring. And I know that so many coaches and mentors and people will always like, come join this and get clarity. Come here and get clarity. And you're like, I don't care about clarity. I just want to know what to do. I just want to do the stuff. The clarity is what helps you know what to do. And I know that is like obvious, like as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm like, am I really telling them that clarity helps you know what to do? Like they know, I know that you know that, but at the same time, we're not always acting accordingly. It's like we know that, but that's not really matching up with our actions. So that's what we really need to make sure. And find that clarity for yourself so that you actually know what to post and it's getting you somewhere. When you're not clear on why you have these things and you're posting just to post, when it's like just a box on your to-do list and you're like, I got to post on my profile and I got to post in my group. I don't know what the heck to do, but I'm just going to figure it out and post something, I guess. And then you're getting nowhere. And what happens is you can end up with a group that's like half about nurture, half about sales, and not really accomplishing either one. And you're not getting anywhere and you're just kind of spinning your wheels. So giving yourself that it's honestly kind of a gift of clarity, because then you finally feel like you can see through the fog and you know what to do. And understanding, where do each of these things fit into my customer journey? Do I need to eliminate some? Do some of these not serve a purpose in my business anymore? You can totally just set some on pause. It doesn't have to be forever, but you might say, you know what, I need to put my focus in these other areas right now, and I'm going to set these aside. So making sure that each place that you're putting time and effort into showing up has a purpose in your customer journey, that you're clear on it, and then working backwards and saying, okay, if this is the place where I want new people to find me, what content do I want new people seeing? If this is where people who already know me are getting to know me better, what do I want to make sure they're seeing? If I need someone to come around on why my product or service is their solution, what do they need to see? Okay, now it's time to ask for the sale. What do they need to see here? Making sure that you're working backwards, starting with the purpose, and then finding the content that supports that purpose. So I really hope this has helped you. I would love if you tell me how it has, and I will talk to you again next week. I hope this episode inspires you to go take action on something you have been overthinking. As much as I wish you could, you cannot think your way to success, so promise me you're going to go take some action today. Head over to overthinkingentrepreneur.com to find all the cool stuff I've made for you over the years, like my free guide to getting more social media engagement and my Facebook group, Dynamite Entrepreneurs, which has a free course on social media basics.